And so it's happened. 31-year-old Mohammed bin Salman has now replaced his cousin Mohammed bin Nayef as the crown prince. He's now the first in line to the throne behind his father, King Salman. The change in succession was something many had speculated over, but the timing of the decision came a lot sooner than expected. Let's look at how this Saudi Game of Thrones has developed over the past 2 years and what it means for Saudi Arabia and the region. While Mohammed bin Salman's rise to power was fast, with the death of his uncle King Abdullah in 2015, his father Salman, Abdullah's half-brother, became king and changed the line of succession. He broke the rules and skipped a generation of brothers and senior princes, and instead promoted his son, Mohammed bin Salman, to a position of power as deputy crown prince, and had him serving under his 57-year-old cousin Mohammed bin Nayef, the crown prince. The two Mohammeds shared the country's power. Bin Nayef controlled the Ministry of Interior, the intelligence services, anti-terrorism apparatus, as well as the religious clerics and judges, while bin Salman controlled the Ministries of Defense, oil, and the economy. A power struggle ensued, and Mohammed bin Salman always had the upper hand.
Clearly, when Mohammed bin Salman was plucked by his father to be the deputy crown prince, it was anticipated. Essentially, what's happening now may come as some surprise, but I also believe that several of the recent economic trends, royal decrees, and a lot of the foreign policy moves all suggested that this may have been on the cards.
In an interview with Al Arabiya, Mohammed bin Salman called his first 2 years in office the quick fix years. He made sweeping moves, expanding his powers and undermining the influence of his older cousin bin Nayef. With the control of defense under him, bin Salman started an aerial campaign in Yemen in 2015 against Iranian-backed Houthi rebels, and he's considered one of the driving forces in the current diplomatic crisis in Qatar. Bin Nayef, on the other hand, was not at the forefront of both these Saudi-led confrontations. He demonstrated his power to control the economy with the launch of major reforms under his economic roadmap, Vision 2030. Bin Salman steered the kingdom away from its reliance on oil, instead diversifying towards privatization, finance, infrastructure, health, education, and tourism. These reforms have also meant that the investment focus would change from bin Nayef's sphere of influence in the east to bin Salman's in the west. Bin Salman has stepped on bin Nayef's religious portfolio. A good example of this is the stripping of the Hay'a's powers, the religious police. He's relaxed female guardianship laws, and he's tried to bring entertainment into the kingdom through cinemas and theaters.
It does seem that Saudi is experiencing this winds of change towards a more liberal and open future, absolutely.
Bin Salman further undermined the power of his cousin by overseeing criminal investigations, setting up parallel intelligence and public prosecution committees. As far as rubbing shoulders with other world leaders, bin Salman has made several visits to Washington, the most recent being in March 2017, in which bin Nayef wasn't even present. Meeting with Trump, Putin, Xi Jinping, he's raising his international profile and attracting wide media attention. Meanwhile, his elder cousin bin Nayef has operated behind closed doors and hasn't made any notable media appearances. For Saudi Arabia, bin Salman's consolidation of power could give hope for a transformation of the kingdom. His reforms and alliances may leave way for a more progressive, modernized, and economically diverse kingdom. But his foreign policy initiatives as the Minister of Defense paints a different reality for some of Saudi Arabia's neighbors. Bin Salman has expressed and practiced a strong anti-Iran policy and has vowed to, and I'm quoting here, take the battle to Iran. His campaign in Yemen against Iranian-backed Houthi rebels is now in its 3rd year and has left behind a large humanitarian cost. And as he is a driving force behind the diplomatic crisis with Qatar pushing for a more aggressive stance against the tiny Gulf nation, the question is, will this ambitious prince that's soon to be king transform the region for better or for worse?